Okay. So the moon is offering this cup that is already here, this wish come true that's actually already here. It's already here. And the potential, I mean, you've already left this behind, really. You've really already left behind the old ways of defining yourself. And now we're going to look at what the future generations, what they are offering you at this moon, at this equinox. What are the future generations offering to Libra? And looking back toward Libra 4, as if the ancestors look forward toward, and as all time collapses and we understand, ourselves, each other, and time all differently. Time not as a line or even a spiral, but as a field, as a field. Strength. They offer you strength. They look back to you for your strength, and they inspire you. Look, and the star. The star, when you wish upon a star. I think it's Matilda Jocelyn Gage who said, the women of today are the prayers of their mothers and grandmothers, embodied and made alive. The Eight of Cups, a walking away again, an emboldened walking into a new way of holding our power, each and every one of us, holding our emotions, being guided by them, being guided by our mental imagination, by our embodied creativity. Just another, and this, the Eight of Cups to me is similar to the, perhaps a little slower, perhaps a little more sorrowful, but it is a movement, just as the Six of Swords is a movement forward. A movement, maybe not a movement forward, but that sounds too linear, but an easing into the truth of each of our own identity and integrity. Okay, we have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands as candy canes. I often read the Five of Wands as external stimuli, whether, in your house, on your television, online, whatever, in your community. It's external stimuli and how you cope with it, how you deal with it. Or maybe not cope, how you interact with it, so there's a strength to it, to the way you create, fall into your own true soul's shape, and what that inheritance of all of us being in that, how the children come from the future as that. They're born with such dignity and such curiosity. They have no shame. They are not born in shame. Not one of us is here to suffer. And so our children and the children around us grace us with this understanding. Okay. Next, this is going to be the several goddesses, thinking woman and listening woman, who are sister goddesses of the Pueblo tradition. Isis, who is not a wounded healer. She heals the wounded masculine. Osiris, who was wounded by another masculine, Set. I'm also putting Adam here. And I'm not going to bring in all the ones that I've brought in some of the readings for you right at this moment. I'll just the ones that I've mentioned, bring those in and see in what way they support you, or what even neutral energy there is there within those archetypes, ideas and expressions and reverberations and emanations there too that you might draw upon. The Eight of Swords, not the Eight of Swords, one of my favorite cards, the Eight of Wands. And it's passionate communication, it's joyful, it's joyful embodiment, it's quick-witted, very quick-witted, and even flirtatious, in the sense that any true flirtation must have a deep comprehension of equality. Okay, so that is a quick, passionate intensity of communication coming from or supported by these goddesses who perhaps want you to bring, and it was reversed, so this will be easier than it might have been, bringing justice to the world. We are now bringing, some of the powers of these goddesses that have been, just not part of the main narrative, perhaps I'll put it that way, because we've gone through a lot of time and the effect that's had on our human lives and on them. And now, they're requesting that they, be brought forth, be honored in these times, and be drawn upon as we move toward justice. Okay, and then here from the men, from the male gods, it's celebration. It's these three women together. It's like the triple goddess celebrating, all the fragmented parts of the ways feminine has been defined. And in the archetype reading, also I had Adam, the energy of Adam, get the heartbreak card, the Three of Swords, and it related to this disparateness that was over here in that reading of Lilith and Eve, and the fragmentation of the way that men have portrayed and seen women, but how that relates to some fragmentation and heartbreak within themselves. Okay, so now this is just the male gods celebrating that the female gods will be honored and will celebrate themselves, and we will all celebrate together. Okay, I like that. Okay.